You say you want to be successful. You dream of a better life. But when it's time to work, you scroll your phone, you procrastinate, you sleep. You think you're special, that someday your life will magically change. But guess what? Dreams don't work unless you do. This is the story of Ryan Carter, a boy who was ambitious but lazy, and how one painful moment transformed his life forever. Ryan was a 19-year-old college student in Ohio. He wasn't dumb. In fact, he was smart, creative, and full of ideas. But he had one problem. He never finished what he started. He would spend hours watching motivational videos, make to-do lists, and tell his friends, "One day I'll be rich." But that one day never came. Every morning, his alarm rang at 6 a.m. Every morning, he hit snooze again and again until it was 9 o'clock. Then he'd check Instagram, scroll through reels, and lose another hour. He'd tell himself, "I'll start after lunch. After lunch, I'll start in the evening. At night, I'll start tomorrow." And that tomorrow never arrived. Ryan's friends admired his dreams. He'd talk about business, money, freedom, luxury cars. He even posted quotes like, "Don't dream your life, live your dream." But deep down, he knew he hadn't earned the right to say any of those things. He saw others hustling, studying, working part-time jobs while he sat on his couch watching Netflix. But his ego whispered, "You're different. You'll make it your own way." That's the worst kind of lie, the one you tell yourself. One Friday evening, Ryan's father called him. His father was a truck driver, old, tired, but honest. He said, "Son, how's college going? Are you still working on your business ideas?" Ryan replied casually, "Yeah, Dad. I'm planning big things. You'll see." His father stayed silent for a few seconds, then said, "Ryan, you've been planning for years. But plans don't change lives. Action does. Don't let your laziness destroy your potential." Ryan didn't reply. He hung up the phone, pretending it didn't hurt. But those words burned in his mind. That night, he couldn't sleep. He looked at the ceiling and whispered, "Maybe he's right." A week later, his college announced a business startup challenge. Winner would get $10,000, mentorship, and media coverage. Ryan's eyes lit up. This is it, he thought. My chance to prove everyone wrong. He already had an idea. A productivity app for students who struggle to focus. He named it Focus Time. He told everyone he'd win. He told his friends, his classmates, even his crush. But instead of working, he spent his days imagining his success. He visualized the applause, the interviews, the fame. But he didn't do the work. Days turned into weeks. He hadn't written a single line of code or a single page of his plan. The deadline came. Ryan stayed up all night trying to write something decent. But his brain froze. He realized he had nothing. The next morning, he went to the college hall. Other students were confidently presenting their startups. He watched them on stage, their slides, their energy, their excitement. And then came the announcement. The winner of this year's startup challenge is Daniel Lee. Ryan clapped with a fake smile. Inside, his heart was breaking. He knew he could have done better, if only he had started. That night, it rained heavily. Ryan walked home alone. His clothes were soaked, his shoes muddy. When he reached his apartment, he threw his backpack on the floor and screamed, "I'm such a loser." He looked at the mirror and saw the reflection of a boy, not a man chasing dreams, but a coward hiding behind excuses. Tears rolled down his face. He whispered, "I'm tired of lying to myself." For the first time, he admitted his truth. He wasn't unlucky. He was lazy. The next morning, before sunrise, Ryan did something he had never done. He got up at 5 a.m. He cleaned his room, took a shower, and opened his laptop. He wrote on a paper, "No more tomorrow. I start today." He deleted all the games and distractions from his phone. He unfollowed pages that wasted his time. And then he started. The first day, he worked for 1 hour. The next day, 2 hours. Then 3. It was painful. It was boring. But he kept going. For the next few months, Ryan lived like a different person. He stopped going to parties. He stopped bragging. He worked quietly. He studied coding, marketing, design. He watched tutorials instead of shows. He worked out, ate healthy, and started journaling. Many nights he wanted to quit, but then he'd remember that rainy night and how it felt to fail because of his own laziness. So he pushed through. After 3 months of consistent work, he launched the beta version of Focus Time. At first, only 5 people downloaded it. He felt embarrassed. But instead of giving up, he asked for feedback, fixed bugs, and improved it. A few weeks later, a YouTuber reviewed his app. That video went viral. Within days, 10,000 downloads. Then 50,000. Then 100,000. Ryan's name started spreading online. Investors reached out. His story appeared in blogs and magazines. He was no longer the lazy guy. He was the guy who changed his life. 1 year later, Focus Time had over 1 million users. Ryan gave talks in schools and colleges. He told students, "I was just like you, ambitious but lazy. I waited for the perfect time that never came. And then I realized success doesn't come when you're ready. It comes when you start." His father attended his first big event. When Ryan saw him in the crowd, he paused and said, "Dad, you were right. Dreams die when laziness lives." The whole auditorium stood up and clapped. His father had tears in his eyes. So if you're still watching this, don't scroll yet. Ask yourself, how many dreams have you killed with your laziness? How many times have you said, "I'll start tomorrow"? You think you need motivation, but you don't. You need discipline. You need to wake up before the world does. You need to do what's hard when no one's watching. You need to believe that small steps every single day will take you somewhere big. Because life doesn't give you what you wish for. It gives you what you work for. Ryan's story is not about luck. It's not about talent. It's about effort. He was ordinary, but he decided to stop being lazy. And that changed everything. So now it's your turn. If this story touched your heart, don't just scroll away. Comment below. I'll start today. Like this video to remind yourself never to give up. Share it with someone who needs this message. Because one day, you'll look back and say, "That was the day I changed my life." Start now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now.